So I'm going to show you how to make a clay rattle two different ways. The first way is the taco way. And what we're going to do first to our textured slabs is we're going to cut out a rectangle. So I'm going to cut the extra pieces and then I'm going to set those aside. So now I have a nice rectangle to use to make my taco type of rattle. I'm going to turn my my slab over, and now what I'm going to do is what's called scoring. And scoring is just simply scratching. So I'm just scratching the edges around, and I'm using a diagonal line, and then I'm going to go over and I'm going to turn them all into X's. So you get to choose how you want to do it. You can make X's first, or you can use diagonal lines like this. So now that I have my scoring done, what I'm going to do is now I need to add the beads in. So we made these beads last time, and I'm going to rip a piece of newspaper. I don't need a really big piece of newspaper, so I'm just going to rip it in half. And then I'm going to rip it in half again. And then I'm going to put some beads in the middle. And you only need like 4 or 5 beads, not too many. And then I'm going to crumple the beads in the newspaper like this. Okay? And then what will happen is the newspaper is going to make the rattle hollow. And then when I fire the clay, the newspaper will burn away and it'll turn to ash. Okay, so see how I have my newspaper inside there? Now I can choose to wrap the taco this way, or I can choose to make it this way. If I go this way, then I'm going to need to make the newspaper really thin and long, and then I'll have like a tube-shaped taco or a tube-shaped rattle. But I think this one I want to make go this way. All right. So I got my newspaper there in the middle, and I'm going to wrap my taco, and then I'm going to press gently. I'm not pinching. I'm just pressing gently. Now, if you pinch too hard, then this is what's going to happen. If you pinch too hard, you're going to make the clay too thin, and this is all going to crack off. You need the sides to be nice and thick, okay? So now that we've pressed, now what we have is called a seam. Where two things come together is called a seam. So what we want to do is smooth the seam so it doesn't crack apart. So all I'm doing is taking my fingers and just smoothing the seam, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around, smooth the seam, make sure that there isn't any more seam showing, just like that. So do you see how thick the sides are here? They're nice and thick, and they're not pinched so hard that they look like this. This is what I do not want to see when you attach your pieces together. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you, and then you're done. So after you smooth the seams, then you're done. The next way I want to show you is the shape way, okay? So I know that some of you want to have like a heart shape or a circle shape or whatever. So I think I want to make a heart shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the heart shape, and I need to make sure that I have enough clay to make 2 of them. So, and this is about the size of my palm of my hand. So you want to make sure that your shape is at least as big as the palm of your hand, because if it's not, then your rattle isn't going to have enough room to shake, okay? So now that I've drawn my shape, I'm going to cut the shape out with the wooden tool. And you can use the popsicle stick, or you can use the the tool that has the point, like a pencil. Now, I need to get two shapes that are exactly the same size. So I'm going to just trace this one. So I cut it out. Now I'm just going to trace it. And you want to make sure that you don't press your first shape into the slab because they'll stick together. So there's my second shape. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And this, I'm not going to need a whole lot of newspaper. I'm going to set the extra clay aside. And remember, this is going to have your textures on them. I'm going to turn this slab over. I'm going to get a little piece of newspaper. I'm not going to need a whole lot. This might actually be too much. And put my beads in there. I'm going to crumple them up, put them in the center. And I'm going to score all around the edges. And you want to make sure that this is kind of like a sandwich. But you want to make sure that the same side of your sandwich is facing out. So for example, I have the textured side facing out. This is the textured side that I want on top. So I need to score the back. So I'm going to go ahead and score the back. That way, if there's any imperfections in your shapes, they match up perfectly. Okay, so there we go. I'm scoring all the way around, just making X's. And this is the scoring technique. All right, so now I need to press them together like this. So watch, press, press. I'm not pinching hard, I'm just pressing. So now I have this heart shape, and now I have the seams. So all I need to do is smooth the seams, and this part here isn't perfect, but I'm just going to smooth them together like this. Make sure that there aren't any holes. Be gentle so that you don't smooth over your textures. And there's that. And then this one is all done. So I've got the seams smoothed. I've got the rattles inside, or the beads inside to make the rattle sound with the newspaper. Okay? Now there's one more thing that you can do. We had, when we looked at our examples, you could add strings and beads to your rattles. And if you would like to do that to your rattles, we need to put holes in them so that we can attach the strings and the beads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wood tool and I'm going to poke a hole all the way through and then just press down the back like this. So I think I just want to have 3 beads hanging down from this one. So I'm just going to make 3 holes. So my plan is to hold it like this, and then the beads and the string hang from here. Now I think for my heart, I think I want to have some beads kind of go all the way around it. So I'm going to go ahead and poke holes all the way around. You want to make sure that you are not getting too close to the edge when you make your holes. Because if you get too close to the edge, they're going to crack. So you want to make sure that your holes are far enough away from the edge that they're not going to crack the edge. Okay, so here are my holes for my beads. And that part's going to be fun. We'll do that after. So do you see how my holes on the other side leave kind of a mess? I'm just going to smooth those down with my fingers very easily, like this. And that, my friends, is how you make a clay rattle using the shape way and the taco way. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome. Oh,